2020, tricky year. Yeah, very tricky year. But it's still been a year where I got to still live my dream, still focusing on the things I normally focus on, still working hard, the ethic hasn't stopped. And, it's just been a year where I got to actually spend more time, the people I love, and focus on the things that matter. I think I learned a lot this year, like taking time out. I know it might be cliched under the circumstances, but I'm a creative and I'm a person who's always doing something. My brain is always like it's running, it's trying to create something always. And I think what 2020 did was, obviously with the pandemic, it made me sort of like take a step back and ngenza izinto that I want to do, and not necessarily because they must be done, or it's like I'm taking my time with each and every single decision. Definitely a lot of things had to be switched up a little bit, because then they have to adapt, and I think when we all got the news with 2020 is not what you think it is. Everybody sort of had to like think about ways they can survive. You feel me? So maybe you're a musician, and now I'm a kick zavaliwe. How can you innovate and still make sure you drive traffic towards what you're doing? And I think that's where it's the era of content creation, and it started, and it's booming now. Because of this thing, because everybody was at home, and I had to modify, my process and be like, okay, cool. Sometimes it's not just going to be the music that's going to do the thing. You got to create something outside of it. In fact, you have to create your own online show. You got to create a system where you can connect with your fans online, because you cannot see them anymore. You guys are not going to connect at the shows anymore. So, I definitely had to change the process, see modify kancane, as the team sit down and think, okay, how are we gonna be as effective as we were last year under these circumstances? Abafana Bahad is like a top priority. It's a dope song, and I think it marks the era that we living in. The sound is crisp, and it's got one of the greatest of all time on it. So it's an incredible song. But after that, I'd like to focus on Ghetto Kids, which is my album that I'm working on. I might drop something in between, but that's going to depend on some things. But if Ghetto Kids, Abafana Bahad, Ghetto Kids, two main things for me, and obviously starting my tour again, because I'd been doing the Quantum tour before COVID ifika. So and I'm all about taking my show on the road. So I think beginning of next year, that's going to be a top priority for me. Hopefully, there's no second wave of whatever, need my gigs, need the check, yeah.
Shop, sweetie love, fun about heart. Girls going wild, it's a lot. Let me tell you how it feels to